Hello, and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of October 4th. I'm Catherine Aleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Terry and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics, because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. So we are now into the third week of the 2 series that we have picked up. We have Ted Lasso and Only Murders in the Building. So
yes,
we will start with Ted Lasso. This week's episode, we're on season 1 for everyone else in the world who's on season 2. This episode is called Trent Crimm, the Independent. And as I promised you last week, the incriminating photos proved to be dealt with very quickly and easily.
Yes.
So we did not have to worry about that.
And the scary two-tone hair reporter guy turned out to be kind of decent.
Yeah, he was won over, as everyone is,
absolutely,
by Ted.
Yes.
And he, Rebecca agreed, she stopped publication of the photos because she was afraid that Keeley was going to figure out that it was her who had caused them to be taken.
Right.
And her deal with the newspaper publisher was that this Trent Crimm, the scary two-tone hair man, was going to do a profile of Ted. And she thought that would achieve the same.
Yes. Turn the community against Ted because they listened to this guy.
Right. And sure enough, that backfired upon Rebecca as well.
It did. And I kind of loved that it wasn't like Ted went to the school and made a big inspirational speech that won the guy over. Or, there was like no one big thing. It's just, you could see what Ted was doing and that it made sense. And that, not just that he was a good guy, because I don't think, who cares about that, but that he's, he's kind of doing something valuable for the community, one way or the other.
Right.
And also that obviously some of his strategies are interesting and good for the team, even though they're not winning yet.
Right.
So.
Yes, we started to see this week the little cracks in Roy Kent.
Yes.
Starting to realize that he needs to be a leader on the team, and he really doesn't want to be.
No.
But he is feeling compelled to do it anyway.
Yes. He knows that Ted is manipulating him into doing this, and yet still makes him angry that he has to do it, but of course he has to do it.
Yes.
And there's really nobody else who can.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. We mentioned last week that the actor who plays that character had won an Emmy, and we hadn't really seen much of him yet. So now I see where we're going with that. Yeah, he's terrific. He's simultaneously decent and surly.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just, him in the scenes with his little niece where he's, he, again, simultaneously decent and sweet with her and also cursing loudly.
Very fun. What a great character. And you just feel for him because this is not going to be easy what he's going to have to do. But he knows he has to do it. And, Jamie just continues to be an insufferable. I'm trying to think of a word I can say on a family podcast. He is not a nice man.
No, he's not. But we're getting to know Keeley better now.
And she's adorable.
And she's wonderful, yes. And the way that she's so smart.
Yes.
She's so good at figuring people out and, dishing it right back to them as she does to Roy.
And she gets Rebecca to show her the nude picture they took of her on her boat. And then it's like, oh my, complimenting her physical assets in a way that...
Right. Very impressed.
Not probably what Rebecca expected.
Right.
So it's going to get harder and harder for her to be mean to these people. I hope.
I know.
At some point, you just got to go with it, lady.
Yeah, why not let the team make money for you?
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of just trying to stick it to your ex-husband.
Yeah.
Stick it to him by having a team that's good.
Yeah. that's done in a way that is like anathema to everything that he would want to do.
Right.
That was just a very enjoyable episode. I went into it trepidatious, but of course, as you had said, everything works out.
Yes.
And other than some intestinal pain for Ted, he comes through everything all right.
Yes. He shows up at the restaurant, the family restaurant of the driver who he met on his first day, who now he thinks is like his best friend.
Yes.
Just because everyone is Ted's friend.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And he's just too nice to say, no, please, don't make it super hot. And he eats it all. That's the kind of guy he is.
Trent Crimm does not have the stomach, literally.
Nope. But he admires those who do, apparently. So, yeah. I liked the little bit of the article they read because it seemed to be not unbelievably upbeat, but still getting what's going on. Mm-hmm. So that was good. Unexpected, but believable.
And you also got in this episode a little glimpse into the home life of Higgins.
Yes.
The director of football operations, as his title has it.
Toady.
Rebecca's flunky.
Like
yes.
Card, yeah. Flunky.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he has some 4 or 5 large children. Boys.
Yeah, so that was a little addition to his storyline. And Nate designed a good play. Mm-hmm. Probably would have been accepted better if they hadn't said it was his, but okay. Everybody else seemed to enjoy it.
Yes, everyone except Jamie, who had to be the decoy instead of the star. So.
Yes.
Of course, he didn't care for it.
And Nate seems to be the thing that will turn Roy to doing what he needs to do and being the leader on the team, because he doesn't like seeing Nate be abused. And
right.
Ted,
by Jamie and his little sidekicks.
And Ted cleverly will not step in because that's not, he wants to get Roy to step up and do it, which he does.
Yeah.
To his own great annoyance.
Exactly.
But lots of good characters in this thing. I'm really enjoying getting to know them.
Yeah. Who doesn't love books being used as gifts and moral instruction from Ted and Coach Beard. Gotta love it.
Yes. I think that's terrific.
A Wrinkle in Time.
The fact that the reporter was like, stepping in to explain the book, which he obviously enjoys also. So that was fun. Yeah. And really well done by the actor playing the reporter in conveying beneath a gruff manner that things are starting to get through. Right. So really enjoying that show. Enjoying the characters and enjoying the fact that it's not going for the obvious comedy of embarrassment and humiliation, but it's about something different. So I'm happy about that. And interesting to see where it goes.
Established that you do not care for that, and neither do I.
Not my bag. Yeah.
Anything cringy is no thank you.
Yes. And weirdly, I believe last week I said I thought Amy Ryan was going to be in Ted Lasso, but she's not. She is in Only Murders in the Building. So that's why we have not seen her, but we did see her this week with her giant bassoon.
Yes, so let's talk about Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
This episode is
also a delightful episode.
Yes, called How Well Do You Know Your Neighbors? So we got to meet we got to get a little more into the very strange Howard who lost his cat Evelyn, and
which is now in his freezer,
minus
missing
a leg that
or
Steve Martin's character broke off of it.
That was an excellent little bit of physical humor with him in the freezer.
Yes. So, and then you got to meet Nathan Lane's character. He apparently lives in the building, as well as Amy Ryan playing this musician named Jan, and none other than Sting living in the building.
As
Sting, who does not like dogs, and who just sort of had no time or patience for Oliver, which is Martin Short's character. Talking to him in the elevator.
all the way through, there was this sort of silly thing of Oliver trying to figure out who done it by imagining all of the suspects on a stage, and he's like auditioning them chorus line style. And it was, okay, I see where you're going with this, but this is kind of silly. But boy, did it pay off with that ending with Sting sitting on the stage singing Don't Stand So Close to Me. Excellent payoff. I forgive all of it for that. That was awesome.
Yes, wonderful.
As one wonders whether he is the one who apparently poisoned Oliver's dog.
Yes, and
who
possibly
was standing
Evelyn.
too close to him in the elevator.
Yes, possibly Evelyn as well.
Yeah.
Evelyn the cat, whose hair lives on in Howard's apartment. You know, this one, things were looking up a bit for the podcasters, or at least for Oliver, because he did get them a sponsorship so that he can pay his building fees. Otherwise, he's going to get kicked out of the building.
Yeah, that's except that they have to put the name of the business at the beginning of their true crime
chicken
title.
wraps. Somebody's deli chicken wraps. I forgot already. It wasn't good enough.
This is exactly the way podcasts work, by the way. If anybody would like to be, chicken wraps parenting roundabout,
we would do it.
Hit us up on Twitter.
We would do it for less than $35,000 also.
You would not have to pay us that much. You could probably just tell us we're doing a good job and we would happily add your name to our podcast. But, what the heck? We'll go for it. And not as much Selena Gomez action this time as last week when we found out at least one of her many secrets. Mm-hmm. There was just the one scene where she goes to see the father of the guy who went to jail.
Right.
And is rebuffed.
Yes. Very
firmly.
much so. Mm-hmm.
And then she's trying on some of the jewelry that was hidden in books in Tim Kono's apartment. But other than that, she was basically, third wheel to the old dudes. Which, she and Steve Martin interact fairly humorously together. So.
Right. They're kind of bonding a little bit. So
we have to have an episode with more of what's his secret. But they can take the time.
Yeah, I mean, so far we already know, all we know is there was some kind of partner and she's not there, but he's making her an omelet every day anyway.
Is that what that was? I did not get it. Okay, good.
I think so. That's how I interpret it.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, so what's his thing? I'm sure will be the focus of an episode, but not yet, because first we need to know what's Sting's thing.
Correct.
Which I'm curious both in the context of the show and also in the context of why is Sting this? Right. Either he has a really good sense of humor or he's a little low on cash or both, but good on him. It's hilarious.
Right. I mean, that does seem to be the kind of building that he would live in.
It does. It does. And I can totally see him, running into Steve Martin and or Martin Short or even Selena Gomez somewhere and they say, hey, we need a celebrity for our show. You want to come do it? And you'd say, sure.
Well, and then you get the double...
Just don't stand too close.
Yeah. Then you get the double entendre of the title next week, which is called The Sting, because they also know about some sort of meeting that Tim Kono was supposed to have coming up. So presumably they're going to stake it out.
Yeah. My problem with Ted Lasso was getting all the heavily British quips that went by, which was rescued for me by putting on captions. Mm-hmm. My problem in this show is going to be it's pretty dark.
Yes.
And they keep showing you visual clues like something written on a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And old lady Morrow has to lean way up into the screen and pause it and say, what does that say? So I finally saw the end the podcast or I'll end you. I finally was able to read that. I could not read what was on that note Mabel was looking at.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. It was a meeting for a date in the future.
Yes, it was a date and time of a meeting that's coming up in a week from when she discovered it.
Okay. So that will be setting up some interesting stuff for next week.
Right. And the threatening note that you mentioned was to Oliver and then his poor little dog.
Yes, it was taped to his door. They're not going to really kill the dog.
I hope not.
We'll get the dog to a vet. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the cat was already dead when we knew about her, so
Right.
we didn't have to see her. But I don't know. I don't think that you can kill people in shows with impunity, but you kill the dog.
Yeah, people get upset for sure.
I'm a little upset.
Yeah.
So, but the dog was still whimpering, so possibly they have emergency vets in New York City. Just run them over to someplace.
Oh, yeah. People in New York are quite fond of their animals.
Hopefully the pooch will survive this episode.
Yes.
And did Sting do it or did Sting not? We don't know. Maybe the Tim Kono thing was just an accident and really there's somebody just killing pets.
Ugh, terrible.
He just happened to, come by at the wrong time when they were trying to kill the cat.
Yes. Did Tim Kono have a pet? We need to know.
Oh, yes, that too. We know that the deceased Evelyn, is that the cat's name? The deceased Evelyn was in his apartment because her little paw prints were in it. But actually, I don't know. Did they dust those paw prints? Maybe that's a different cat. Maybe he had a cat.
We know.
And maybe it's in a different freezer right now.
So many questions. So many.
So we will, I'm sure, at some future date find out how odd bassoon player Jan is. But hey, Amy Ryan, nice to see you. Sorry I originally tagged you for the wrong show.
And so did I, because I was like,
you were looking a bunch of stuff up on IMDb.
I said that was probably his wife, Ted's wife.
Yeah. And I was like, she didn't come up in this episode. I was pretty sure she was in the third episode. So I went onto IMDb to look it up and I couldn't find her in the cast list. And I looked her up and I said, oh. Different show. Alrighty. It's easy to get mixed up. You know what?
Yes.
I'm old. I'm addled.
When you start two series on the same week and they're
it's easy.
both, they're running together a little bit. So,
yeah,
although they are extremely different.
They are extremely different, but both very enjoyable in their ways.
Yes.
And we should share that link to the article on Selena Gomez's outfits.
Yeah, there was.
We've only read it as far as the episodes we've seen, but very interesting to see how they're assembling them with some thrift shop stuff and different rationales for the various combinations. I don't think what she had on today didn't really strike me that much. It was just like a red sweater and jeans.
Yes, right? It wasn't a real standout this time.
Yeah. But still, she looks good.
Yeah. Yes, we will.
And she looks like somebody who her character would look.
Right. So we will share that, and next week we will watch on Only Murders in the Building. As we mentioned, the episode is titled The Sting. And on Ted Lasso, it's called For the Children.
Okay.
So look forward to that. That'll be it for today's round 2. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Bye, Terry.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye, everyone.